Hey guys, welcome back. Today is another beautiful, crispy, windy day here in Oregon, but it's dry, so I will not complain about the wind because I'd rather have the wind than the rain at this point. Today we are going to be working back out in the planting strip. We have the ground covers to plant, some of them in between the stones. I picked up some of the little evergreens. We do have some more coming in from Isley. If you guys recall, we just did a video with them. So those are going to be coming in the next week or two, which I'm very excited about. And then I have a bunch of compost that I thought, why didn't I bring this out when we started this? I should have been putting compost down and I didn't. So I have a few bags, well, probably like 10 bags, I think, of land and sea compost. I have to double check. But anyways, I am going to go ahead and bring that compost out because that will add a lot of nutrients into our soil. And as you guys know, the soil is really dense clay and it's really hard to work it. So I figured compost, we got to get the compost in. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And then I have a few little evergreens that we're going to be planting out today as well. Boy, it is windy. Holy moly, my hair is going to be a hot mess after this. Anyways, so let me show you the things that we're going to be planting today, starting with the ground cover, and then I'll show you the little evergreens as well. This is the ground cover that we are going to be using to plant in between the flagstone for the pathways. I just like the texture of this better than the thyme. We are still going to use the thyme, but I just like this one better. And you know what? I'm actually going to split these and plant them because I didn't get that many, but I figured if we can, I'm going to see how the roots of these look. We can split them and we'll have more plants that way. So again, this is the green brass buttons. These are going to grow 1 to 2 inches tall and 10 to 12 inches wide. They're hardy in zones 4 through 7 and they will require full sun. So again, these are ones that you can lightly walk on and they just have this beautiful, soft, almost like a fern texture, and then the coloration in these are really great. They're not the dark variety, they're the more of the lighter variety, but I like how you still get some variation in color. So I think these are going to be so beautiful once they start filling in the gaps in the pathway. I think it's going to look so charming. So we're going to be using these first. Let me just get these tags out of here so they don't fly everywhere. So here are a few of the evergreens that we got recently. So the first one here is the dwarf garden juniper, and this one is going to get 8 to 12 inches tall by 6 to 8 feet wide. These are hardy down to zone 5, and let's see, prefers full sun, right? Full sun, partial shade in hot summer, areas full sun everywhere else. So I think this will be fine. I actually talked to them about this and it should be fine where we're going to be planting it. And let's see, because they will get some shade from our dogwoods. And then this next one is a sunshine mugo pine. I think Sergey saw this and was like, absolutely yes. And these are going to get 2 to 3 feet tall and wide after 10 years, hardy down to zone 2. And then these can take sun to part shade. And then we have some more of that burgundy bunny grass. So I think there might be a couple of areas where we tuck these in. Let's see. And then we have this dwarf hinoki, which is so beautiful. The texture is so feathery. We love hinokis here at this house. These are going to grow 3 feet tall and wide, hardy down to zone 5, and these will take full sun. A hinoki is always a good idea, in my opinion, for any garden. I love these so much. Okay, we're doing a quick pivot here because I just ran to the backyard and I picked up this pine. This is a Karsten's, I'm pretty sure, Karsten's Mugo pine. Hold on, let me pull up my phone. And I've had this for years and I haven't done anything with it. If it is the correct one that I'm thinking of and looking at, these are going to get 18 to 24 inches tall and wide in 10 years. So it's pretty much its full grown size. But the cool thing about this one is it turns into this beautiful yellow color in the winter time. And so every year I'm like, oh no, it's dying. And it's not. It actually just changes color. And it's so interesting. Let me just show you guys from this angle here. So I'm going to plant that one right over here. And let's see, these will, again, get 18 to 24 inches tall and wide. They do best in full sun, like well-drained soil, and they are hardy down to 2 through 7. So I think these are going to be great for this little area of the garden. All right, back over here. I thought about putting in this dwarf garden juniper right by the post there, but remember, we have some plants coming in from Isley, so I kind of want to reserve those for that, just because, you know, there's some really cool stuff coming, and those are going to stay, you know, on the smaller side. So I think it's going to be a little bit more manageable. And then let me just show you this little hinoki I just placed right here real quick to show you guys. So I think the hinoki will go right here. It'll be easy to maintain for our neighbors, and it's not going to get very big at all. And then we have more space to do or to plant some ground cover, and just maybe, gosh, I don't know, we're thinking maybe a couple of sedums over here. I actually found the most beautiful sedum that Sergey and I both love. I found one, so I'm going to show that to you for you guys to see. We'll come in with the ground cover in between the stones here. So let me show you that sedum. Sorry, we're kind of all over the place today. This sedum right here, look at how beautiful that pale pink is. It's absolutely beautiful. I love this one so much. So this one is, I think it's Siboldi. I'm probably butchering that. And let's see, these are an evergreen, and they're going to get 8 to 10 inches tall and wide in full sun, and they are hardy down to zone 6. So we found one. So I'm going to try to propagate these because they're so easy to propagate. You basically want to take the leaves and you literally let them dry out, and then they're going to start shooting out little roots, and then you will plant that. So I might cut this off here and try to propagate it, and we'll also look for some more, of course, but it's such a beautiful sedum, so we're going to be planting it on our side of the planting strip because I can't wait to start enjoying it. So let's see, I'm thinking, I'm trying to think about like where some of our little evergreens are going to go that we got from Isley. They're going to be coming in here soon. I'm thinking, I don't know why, but like right here, I think. All right, I am happy with the placement of everything. Let me go ahead and start by, well, gosh, do we want to plant I think I want to plant first, and then we'll come back and start taking this out, and then we can mulch, or not mulch, but compost after we get this out. Let's do that. All right, so let's see how the roots of these look. I'm pretty sure they're going to be dense. Oh yeah, so we can actually divide these, and as long as they have enough root structure, we can divide them and they'll be just fine. So I'm just going to really just go down the middle. Now we have 2 plants. So I am going to be methodical about this because I only got one tray of these. So hopefully this will give us enough plants that they'll fill in the space really well. Isn't that great? It's like free plants is basically what we're doing. And the nice thing about doing this, it allows us to get into some of those tighter areas in between the paths that maybe we can't really tuck in a 4-inch plant. So I think we'll make things easier for us in terms of planting them as well. The roots don't look that great on this, so hopefully it'll be fine. I think it just really just needs to be in the ground. Poor thing. I don't think there's anything more frustrating in terms of a garden project than running out of light and running out of materials that you need to actually finish the project. Here we are the next day. I thought I had everything I needed, and I don't. So I got a little bit late last night when we started this video, and so today is already the next day. I came in, we got everything planted. I ended up planting some bulbs as well, and I'll show you guys which ones. And we did plant one more grass, I think, over there. We actually removed one grass and then we planted another. And then I started to compost. And of course, I ran out and it's already too late to go pick some up at the garden center. So here we are, not finished with this project that I was so hoping to have buttoned up today. So imagine everything looking like this. That is the goal. But because we ran out of compost, we ended up like this instead. It's just so patchy over there. And here's the thing, we came in with the land and sea compost from Espoma. This was my first year. Actually, maybe I have used it once before, but anyways, this is my first year that I've really gotten into it, and I love what it's done for our soil. We used it in our beds for our dahlias, in our cut flowers and tomatoes. They performed perfect. I mean, they did so well. Now, because the soil is so clay dense and it's very compact, we are bringing in compost to start really building up the soil again. So instead of coming in with mulch, this is what we're going to be doing. And in fact, most years we've always used compost as mulch. So that's kind of a little trick, I guess, or a little pro tip or a little Claudia trick for you. Instead of using mulch, try compost in your garden because it does wonders. So that's what we've done. I did, again, tuck in some bulbs, and we have more bulbs that we're going to bring in, and you'll see random little rocks that I've placed. So that is a little sign for me to know that there are bulbs there so I don't plant over them. In fact, I think there's 1, 2, 3 more areas here that we planted some bulbs. And here's the grass that we moved and planted. So we came with the burgundy bunny grass and removed the, what was it, the molly grass that was there, just because the structure of that grass, I think, is just not the right place for it. So we did this little trio of that bunny burgundy grass, and I think that is going to look so beautiful. Now, of course, we still have a ton of area to plant up front. Again, I do want to come in with some more sedum. So as soon as we can source more, we will come in with that. Look at what a huge difference it made to start mulching the pathway. We have the ground cover in. Of course, we ran out. Cutting it, though, did provide more plants, which is nice. But I do want to go back out and probably get, I would say, maybe one to two more trays, more flats of them, so I can come in and just tuck more in. But again, these will all fill in really nicely, so I'm not really worried about having something immediately to fill up the space because they will spread. So right over here, again, this is the area that we didn't get to. I really thought I had enough bags of the land and sea compost, but clearly I totally miscalculated that. It's starting to feel like a Home Depot project where you don't anticipate how many trips you're going to take to Home Depot, but you know you're going to go at least 10 times to finish it. That's what this feels like to me. The one sedum that we did have, I tucked in right behind this boulder over here. Now imagine once that starts to fill in, what a beautiful texture that's going to be. And I think the cool colors on it, on the flowers and also on the leaves, are going to play really nicely with the Gaura. So I'm hoping to bring in several more of them and just really tuck them throughout the whole planting strip. Over here, I still plan on doing a drift of some sort of low grass right over here, or if we can find, oh gosh, I don't know, something else, but in a way that we can just do a nice, beautiful drift. And actually, one of you had mentioned Millennium Alliums, which you do have. We have 3 in our garden right now that you guys have probably seen during garden tours. And it's beautiful. It's one of my favorite perennials. It's an evergreen for us for the most part here. So I do want to come in with those and also tuck those in because they stay nice and compact. The bees love them, and I love the structure of their flower. They're just these really cute alliums. They hold on to their blooms for the longest time. In fact, let me show you what they look like right now. So you can see it's kind of messy over here, but they kind of keep their structure for the most part. And we just leave these seed heads on really all winter. And unless it starts to look really raggedy, I'll come in and cut it. But for the most part, that's all I do. I don't really cut it way down or anything like that. I also don't cut them individually. You can also come in and just pull them out. Once it gets a little bit later in the season, they get brown and they're easy to tug on and just remove. But I'll just come in and just cut everything, and they'll flush back up and just look really beautiful. Back here is where we placed our little pine. I think this is going to look so beautiful over here. Now, of course, we just did a whole shopping video at Isley Nursery. So once we get those plants, we need to send them our list. We will start also tucking in some dwarf conifers right throughout here, maybe like a ground cover situation, maybe one back here. So this will all really start to fill in and provide more coverage for all of the open area that we have. Right over here is where we have our Karsten pine. I'm like 90% sure that's what it is. And you see just how beautiful it looks. Actually, let me step down so you can see from this angle. Look at that. Isn't that just so beautiful? It adds an element of evergreen. The texture, of course, it's going to turn into that beautiful golden yellow during the winter time. And then finally over here on our neighbor's side, we put in the little hinoki and they love it. I think for them, they're not huge on pine, but they do love an evergreen that has a softer texture. So if that's you as well, think about adding hinokis into your garden because they have this really beautiful feathery structure to it. So it provides that evergreen element in your garden without being like a pine or a juniper, or if you don't like that type of texture, think about a hinoki. They come in so many varieties and sizes, and so you can really play around with it, and they're pretty easy to maintain. So again, this one is going to get 3 by 3, so it's going to fill in the space over the years really, really nicely. But again, super easy to maintain. I do want to see it put on more growth because I think we'll have a bigger impact over here. But they're so happy with this one, which I'm just happy that they gave me all, creative freedom to do whatever we wanted. And over here, we added more of the ground cover. Again, there's still some open area that I will come in and add some more just because I would like to see it filled in sooner than later, but I'm also not in a rush. So if it takes a little bit longer, it's fine. Once we start bringing up the mulch, or not the mulch, the compost up higher, it'll make this little area a lot better, especially when you're stepping on it, just because I don't want anybody to hurt themselves because of that lower profile of the soil. We'll lift everything up and it'll look very, very beautiful. And that will be it for this. For the bulbs, I planted 20 of the Purple Sensation in Mount Everest alliums. These are so beautiful. And these are going to get about 30 inches tall. They're so stunning. I think there was maybe 6 Mount Everest and then 14 of the Purple Sensation in each bag. And let's see, these are a late spring bulb. So we'll have some beautiful color late into the springtime. We still want to come in with some other bulbs, of course. And the other allium that we use is the drumstick. Now these are so interesting, and I think they provide this like airy purple accent to the garden. So if you're looking for something different in terms of bulbs, see if you can source any of these drumsticks. These all came from Costco, so we did a full video on that. And I actually went back and bought more alliums because you just can't beat the price. It's so good. And these are going to get, I think, 24, yeah, about 24 inches tall. So in those, I planted them in clusters of like 5, 7. And then with the alliums, or the bigger ones, the Purple Sensation and Mount Everest, I think I did 3 and 5 in each different cluster. And these are an early summer bloomer, so these are going to carry us out after a lot of our other bulbs are done for the season. Well, that will wrap it up for today's project. I'm so frustrated. Like, I'm happy, but I'm also frustrated that we didn't have enough of the compost and ground cover to put in between the paths. I really wanted more, but that's okay. It's one of those things I always say, don't get frustrated. It is what it is. But in the moment, you're like, oh, this would have been so good had I been able to do a full reveal of how everything looks, but you'll see it in one of our next videos. So I'm not worried about that, but I just really wanted to have everything buttoned up today, but that's okay. One thing we didn't really touch on yet is irrigation. We are thinking of putting irrigation out there. In fact, we have a pipe that runs right underneath our driveway from one side to the other. That way, if we do want to tap into our irrigation system in the back, we can. We just haven't really crossed that road yet. I think Streg and I were both, instead of having drip everywhere, we were thinking about doing sprinklers everywhere. So we might do that. We would just need to go under the sidewalk. So we're going to explore it later, probably next spring, summertime. But it would be nice to get irrigation out there so we don't have to worry about hand watering everything. I mean, if we do, it's no big deal. But I think our plan when we started mapping everything out is we would have irrigation put in. It definitely would have been nice to get the irrigation in first, but we just didn't plan on it in terms of budgeting for it. So we just said, it's okay, we'll do it next year. It's no big deal. Worst case scenario, we can also just do it ourselves. So we've done the irrigation in the front. We just need to tap into our system in the back. So hopefully that is something that we can do next year and it won't be too heavy of a lift. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today in the garden. I also wanted to say, Sergey says thank you for all of your sweet messages. His back is still a little bit sore. He's doing better, but he's still definitely a little bit sore. But he's been to the chiropractor and acupuncture twice already since the injury of last week. So hopefully he'll be all healed by the weekend coming up. So anyways, thank you guys again for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.